I also noticed too, in some ways, I feel like sauna is kind of like zone 2 cardio. Like my heart rate
It's not kind of, it is.
It is zone 2
Yeah.
cardio because your heart rate will get to that sweet spot of like 120, 130. And my data on my Garmin, the more that I sauna, I'll notice my resting heart rate will decrease the more that I use the sauna too.
Correct. So from the zone 2 perspective, what zone 2 is, for somebody that doesn't know, is 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. It's this area for aerobic foundation building. And the more time that we spend there at this like moderate intensity aerobic state, the more resilient we become, the more fat adapted we become, just more from a cognitive standpoint, the better and more efficient we become. So what's fun about zone 2 training is that the minimum effective dose, as what Peter Attia has mentioned in the past, is around 4 times weekly at around 45 minutes per session. So when you look at the cumulative effect, it's around 180 minutes a week. But if I were to get somebody into a sauna, right, and the sauna session's 15 to 20 minutes, and it's 4 to 5 times a week, that's 100 minutes, which means that all of a sudden their need for zone 2 training outside of sauna is around 80 minutes. Which is super impactful, because now all of a sudden the amount of time that I actually need to spend training where I'm getting impact on my joints from running, biking, whatnot, I could do it by just sitting in a sauna.
Wow.
So it makes it super convenient, and it's a great tool to build that aerobic foundation.
Will you still do zone 2 cardio, or is it mostly
all the time?
All the time.
Yeah.
So you're not just going to be like, hey, straight sauna for zone 2. You're going to sauna and do some running or cycling or whatever.
It is extremely important. Sauna is not a substitute for exercise. It is an exercise mimetic in terms of what it does from the heart rate and what it does for like growth hormone production, but it should never change out what you should be doing with your exercise. At the end of the day, the more clean the top 3 things in my mind, if you are able to get a grasp of having great relationships, eat quality food, and exercise, that is the top 3 most effective things. Sleep is up there as well, but sauna is a catalyst for all of them. That said, and Todd Anderson, who you just had on the podcast, says this really well. If there's one thing that you could do to get you to exercise more frequently, a great gateway drug is sauna. Because it's such a low barrier for entry. You just go there and sit and you feel great, and you get that dopamine spike, and your sleep improves. And because you were sweating, you're now more inclined to want to eat healthier.
Yes.
And because I was there, I was also spending quality time with people. So now my relationships are improving. So it's a great start to get into there, but sauna should never be replaced. Or I should say exercise should never be replaced with just sauna as a way to exercise. It needs to be a joint effort.
That's awesome. Are there any other like big misconceptions around sauna that you want to address, or things that you see?
Yeah.
It's probably a lot.
Yeah. So for the novice, most people see sauna and they don't know the difference between an infrared sauna and a traditional sauna. An infrared sauna is with near infrared wavelengths, and it gets up to about 150 degrees, and it induces like a deeper sweat. The room doesn't necessarily heat up. It's more so the near infrared wavelengths heating up your internal body temperature. For traditional sauna, what it has been going on for hundreds of years is it's in the electric space, the way that we do it, you have a heater with coils, and the coils heat up the rocks, and then the rocks heat up the room. So you could get that up to 230 degrees in our case, but most saunas around 185. There's a significant difference between 150 to 160 degrees and 175 degrees plus. The reason being is that all the research that is coming out on sauna and the amazing effects that it's having on people, from the physiological, the athletic, the sleep, preventing Alzheimer's, what have you, is happening at 176 degrees plus. So at 176 degrees plus, there's this heat stress and heat response that's far different from what you experience in an infrared sauna. So what we found in my experience, infrared sauna is really a lot of marketing, and it looks good and it's convenient. I could plug it into the wall and it gets people to sweat. But the actual effects that we're trying to seek from sauna that people are talking about, those happen in saunas that occur at least 176 degrees.
Got it.
And up to about a 215 degrees plus.
Got it. What's your ideal go-to temperature in the sauna when you go in?
It depends on the mood that I'm going for and what my intended outcome is. For me, if I'm trying to unwind and just enjoy the night and get to a nice deep sleep and not go to the higher zone 2 to lower zone 3, I'll try to stay around 185 degrees. If I'm looking to have a great time and host with guys and really enjoy like a big contrast experience, then I'll do around 200. I find that anything really past 200 to 215, it really is more of like an ego measuring thing. You don't really need to be there. There's really no reason for you to have to suffer at that heat. You could do it. You don't need to.